The following is a presentation of TFNN. The Power Trading Hour with your host, David White. Call now, toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-445-1044. Now, David White.
And welcome, everybody, to an excellent edition of the Power Trading Hour with me, your humble, lovable, and squeezably soft host. As always, we like to come to you at this time.
The following takes place between 2 p.m. and 3 p.m.
Don't hear anything. Anything there? There he is. Slow on the uptake today. Slow up on the uptake. Anyway, what else do we have going on? Let's take a look at the markets here first. Up 22 points on the S&P cash. The options expiration pattern of up on Wednesday, down on Thursday, and then up and slightly higher than the Wednesday high pretty much has held true for this week. I thought maybe we'd start going lower into this week, setting up a bullish bias for next week. But we went higher and on lighter volume, setting up a bearish scenario for next week. We'll go through a lot of stocks on that today. As we get into the volume, again, a little more volume on down days than up days. Today, we're just doing about 4 billion shares. As we talked, I think either in the den or on the show, can't remember which one, said that probably today would be fairly a light volume day, as many of the big traders have left the building with Elvis and gone on a 4-day vacation, starting with Valentine's Day, the way it all fell out this month. So we've got kind of light volume. We've got prior highs. We've got a lot of stocks can't hold that highs or breaking highs on lighter volume. As we look at the dollar index, $96.72 for the March 19 contract. And let's see, what else do I have out here I wanted to look at. That's what I wanted to look at. I just don't have it right. There we go. Gold up about $10. Back to the pattern, having a little bounce into the long weekend. And of course, you want to always look and see what people are buying for risk, the risk trade over an extended weekend, especially 3-day. 2 days, they still do it, not quite as much. 3 days, you want to buy a little extra protection. It seems to be about, well, I'm going to say oil a little bit more than gold. No reason to see crude up 93 cents compared to the gold's 0.8 of a move. Oil about twice, but that may tell you a little something out here. Anyway, been looking at gold the last few days. Does look like maybe by midweek next week we're going to have some kind of significant move out of gold. But a handful of other things going on. The other thing I wanted to see if we got any movement out of this stuck trading range in the TLT. We do not. We're up 12 cents today at 121.91. The question I have is whether or not I want to short today, Tuesday, or Wednesday. And we'll continue to keep an eye on it. We're going to look at a lot of charts today. We got a little history to get started, and then we'll get into all of that. Today was a big day in history.
And it's all just a little bit of history repeating.
On this day in 2005, and now ubiquitous video sharing site YouTube is launched. Few websites have had such an immediate impact on our usage of the internet. Less than 2 years after its launch, Google pays $1.65 billion to purchase it. Today, it only trails Facebook, Google, and Gmail as the most visited website in the world. Additionally, they created a new marketplace for the words you and tube. There's just about everything has you and tube in it now. And what else happened on this day? A handful of other things. I met some important people One of them actually was arrested on this day. And he was Kevin Mitnick, probably the preeminent or most well-known hacker of the time. This is 1995. He's arrested. I talked to him on a couple of planes in the, I think, early 2000s. I just happened to be on a plane with him. Also was on a plane with a senator who interviewed him in a Senate, what do we call it? Investigation, I guess, is the best way. And kind of interesting. I'm trying to remember his name right now. He was running around with this little honey at the time. I got an upgrade to first class, ended up sitting on the other aisle of him. But she was a big country singer, a blonde. And he was, I want to say he was from Kentucky. Maybe Tennessee. I think Tennessee. Maybe I'll think of his name again. I just remember that the beautiful girl that he was sitting with, who was the big country singer. And my boss at the time, I think this was back, my boss at the time was so jealous because he was really into country music. Remember that. But a few things. Anyway, Kevin Mitnick, kind of the architect of every archetype of every one of these horrible TV shows where they try to show people hacking. And it's nothing like that, which is probably the most interesting thing that they've been able to do. But on this day in 2005, we've been able to start YouTube, and everybody gets to YouTube things, same as Google things. My thought, though, is every day Google tries to consolidate its power, and I always suspect that there is room for someone else to come in and do what they will not do, and open up yet another marketplace for video. But if you want to talk about real monopolies in the market, Google with search, YouTube, also the same thing with videos, and probably just a matter of time before we start seeing the headlines about antitrust legislation against almost all of these big guys in Silicon Valley, or at least in the West Coast internet companies. What else do we have going on? Oh, under this, the fox guarding the hen house, the former Apple lawyer, Gene Levinoff, was responsible for making sure that nobody in the company traded ahead of earnings. And guess what this guy has been arrested for? Why he was telling everybody not to trade ahead of earnings? He was trading ahead of earnings. So kind of interesting out there. Who watches the watchers, which is always the question out there. And everybody that always says that they're the paragon of virtue, about half the time, they're the people actually doing the thing they're telling everybody else not to do. Well, looks like they got the goods on this guy, and he'll be going to jail for a while. But I always wonder about that. Who's watching the people watching us? Who's watching the people that are supposed to be watching everybody else? Well, from the FBI guy who stole all the Bitcoins to the Apple lawyer who shouldn't have been inside trading because he was telling everybody else not to. We're humans. People don't want to believe that. We are just human.
The Taz Profile Scanner is the most revolutionary piece of trading software that you will ever try. Wouldn't you like to approach the markets with confidence? As you begin your trading day, it's likely that you'll be faced with lots of decisions. In order to make the best decision, the first thing you'll need is a strategy that will help you minimize your risks. Whether we're in a bull or bear market, a good strategy is to have the tools needed to help you scan and analyze the markets before you trade. The Taz Profile Scanner instantly scans and filters over 2,500 global financial markets, such as stocks, ETFs, commodity futures, and Forex. Headed by Steve Dahl, president of Taz Market Profile, the Taz Profile Scanner understands that in today's technological world, the use of top-flight software applications, automated trading algorithms, and technical analysis expertise is essential to successful trading in today's market. Whether you're looking at the trade matrix, the ETF heat grid, the market breadth, the landscape charts, or the many other features of the TAS Profile Scanner, this is a piece of software that will revolutionize how you look at the markets and set up your trades. The team at TAS has even put together a 12-part video series to walk you through every aspect of the TAS Profile Scanner, which you can find directly on the TAS order page at TFNN.com. Sign up now for only $97 a month with a risk-free 30-day trial, so you have nothing to lose and everything to gain. See for yourself how you can harness the full power of the TAS Profile Scanner by visiting the front page of TFNN.com today, and you'll find the TAS Profile Scanner under the Services section. Remember, with a 30-day money-back guarantee, you have nothing to lose. Don't let another day pass you by without trying out this amazing piece of software that will revolutionize how you look at the market and how you place trades. Sign up today.
Many of our new listeners have heard about the Tiger's Den. The Tiger's Den is a lively community where professional traders and investors can meet, exchange ideas and information in a comfortable, moderated atmosphere. Hear all of the TFNN shows, plus see all of the charts as they happen live and have access to archives of all of those charts. You can test drive the Tiger's Den absolutely free for 30 days and greatly enrich your knowledge of these markets and how to make your money work for you. Details on the Tiger's Den are on the front page of TFNN.com.
TFNN has launched our brand new website. You can still visit us at the same TFNN.com URL, but when you do, you'll see a new and improved homepage with a much simpler navigation, whether you're watching Tiger TV live in high definition or just accessing your newsletter subscriptions. We even have new pricing in 6 months and yearly options. Check out the new TFNN.com now and experience all the upgrades. TFNN.com, educating investors.
Call now, toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-873-7618.
Well, as always, I think about what I was thinking about 2 minutes ago, 2 minutes later into the break, and finally remember what I was going to talk about. And that was Fred Thompson. Was the senator. He was in, what is that, Law and Order, as the head of the prosecutor office. He was also in Red Storm, or not Red Storm, he was in Hunt for Red October as, I think, like an admiral on a carrier. And he was also a senator for 2 terms from Tennessee. And his girlfriend was Lori Morgan. I couldn't remember that at the time. But she was quite the ticket, as I remember. I guess they went out for like a couple of years, and that's when I ended up being on the same row with them and talking to him for a few minutes. Of course, I'm trying to remember exactly if he'd already been a senator and left. It'd been a long time ago. But, she was a little songbird. I haven't heard of her in a long time. But, yeah, Brush with Fame. Yeah, almost famous, I guess. Brush with B-level fame. I don't know. Senator, is that more than an actor? You never know. Also, Fred Thompson was a big attorney in the Watergate years, going back to that. Okay, so we're going to keep an eye on this market. We're up 23 points on the S&P cash, 360 on the Dow. The Nasdaq's up 28, and again, not a lot of juice out here, but we do have the Russell up about 21, 22. Not uncommon to see the market have a fairly big turn on 3-day moves. And, of course, everything looks a little weak out here, but we'll continue to keep an eye on the market for you. In Watergate hearings, he was, I think, the lead for the Republicans. Lead counsel for the Republicans. I think he was probably pretty young then, maybe 30 years old. I think 1974. Yeah. So, yeah. What else do we have going on out here? Okay, we'll start looking at charts. And you can always email me at path@tfnn.com. And, of course, call me at 877-927-6648. Got a little doji out on advanced auto parts. We've been talking about these stocks last few days to see what would happen out here. Today, you're up and breaking the previous high. You got 722,000 shares going against 1.8 million shares back on January 18th in Advance Auto Parts. And again, energy really off this January 28th low, just not much compared to the energy on the way down. And this goes back several months as we went up and down. This does look like you hit some kind of level where you're not going to find a lot of new buyers. ACIW, which is ACI Worldwide, I think we talked almost all of these. Just this one had some decent energy on the way up, just like a lot of these other ones, has got to the highs and hadn't had any volume. November 9th, 29th, once again, November 9th, $30.25, 3 million shares. Yesterday at 800,000 shares. Today, just 324 as you make a new high on this. Adobe, we've been watching this one closely. Actually pulled back a little bit. It crested a little earlier, testing its December 3rd high at $260.72. A couple of days ago with less than 2 million shares. It's kind of gone sideways till then. Energy has been about 20% light off that December 24th low, but it has made a higher high. It's pulled back. It is going to close under that high, so you got a valid sell signal on Adobe for the moment. Autodesk, another one that has been pushing highs with very light, if not incredibly light volume, going into an 8.5 million share high back on August 27th, 159.94. You've had yesterday 1.5 million shares. Today, still under 1 million shares for the day. So you've hit those highs. Energy's not as bad off that December 24th as some, but it's certainly not more. Theoretically, or generally, let me put it that way, the best thing is to find stocks that are congruent, i.e., they came up on very light energy and tested the previous high on lighter volume and have closed back below the previous high. Those are the kind of the trifecta of getting a good position out of it. Let's see, what else do we have? I guess this isn't one for the previous day, just a lot of these are the same. We'll go through as many as these as we can. In fact, why don't we go ahead and just go back. That would have been that one. IC Worldwide, Adobe, and Crombie and Fitch. We're talking to somebody yesterday about, or emails about the teen retailers and malls. I still don't like them. Again, Crombie and Fitch is the poster child of a 27 million share high on November 29th, $22.17. Spiked it on the 12th, did so with 1.3 million shares. So you didn't even get 10% of the volume. You got like 5% of the volume at the high. And that tells you how many people are thinking at Crombie and Fitch are going higher, even though it's probably shorted out the wazoo. Same problem is that they do not want to tax yet. Aren't they, the politicians, the one being subsidized by the taxpayer? American Waterworks. December 7th, a day that will live in infamy. $98.18, 1.5 million shares. Got into it on the 12th with 668,000 shares. Just been going kind of sideways out here. Again, very light energy off that December 26th high. AutoZone, another one in the auto parts sector we've been seeing, kind of stuck at these highs, also with ridiculously light volume. Today, the previous low or high came in on December 11th, 869 with 930,000 shares. Broke it yesterday with 380,000 shares. Today, you just have 150,000 shares. So a lot of these things are up. And in the Second World War, if you lost all your engines on a B-17 and you had one engine, if you could throw everything out the window that was a pound, the machine guns, everything else, you could kind of get back when your wings got within the level of the ground, or more likely the water, you could get back to England because of a thing where you're basically a pillow of air at the same length of your wings under you at all times. You get it, especially when you come to land. You'll find, if you ever learn to fly, you'll find out you got kind of a cushion of air between you and the ground once those wings, or once your height is less than the length of your wing. And you get kind of a pillow there, make it easier to land. But you know what? That's kind of what we got here. We got kind of a little pillow. But man, when that gives up, you're going in the drink. But you can fly on one engine. Kind of what a lot of these stocks are doing. We'll be back in a minute.
The Path of Least Resistance is David White's daily trading newsletter, and if you're looking for active trading ideas, then now's a perfect time for a 30-day free trial to this powerful daily trading advisory service. David uses his years of trading experience to offer his subscribers his trading ideas each morning in his Path of Least Resistance newsletter. Using a combination of equity trades along with options, David keeps his subscribers up to date with all pertinent market information with intraday afternoon updates when warranted. Don't miss out on this great chance to get a 30-day free trial to David's daily newsletter, The Path of Least Resistance, with no obligation to pay anything. David has been delivering solid recommendations for his subscribers recently, and if you'd like to see the type of newsletter he delivers every morning, then visit the front page of TFNN and you'll find the Path of Least Resistance under Trading Newsletters. For all the details and to start your 30-day free trial today, log on to TFNN.com now.
Hi folks, Tom O'Brien here. If you'd like to get my daily newsletter, Market Insights, then now is a great time to sign up for a 30-day free trial. Every morning by 9:30, I send out my morning letter to subscribers with market commentary on a variety of markets, currencies, and commodities to keep investors up to date on the day's trading action. Included in Market Insights are specific buy and sell recommendations for stocks, ETFs, and even options, with stops and price targets included for every trade in my newsletter. If you'd like to try my newsletter risk-free for 30 days, then head over to the front page of TFNN and you'll find Market Insights under Trading Newsletters. I use my years of trading experience to bisect and dissect the market every morning and give my subscribers the most important information they need to know for the day ahead. I even issue afternoon updates for my subscribers whenever warranted with important market action. I'm always scouring the market for the next great trading opportunity. Sign up for your 30-day free trial to my daily newsletter, Market Insights, today by visiting the front page of TFNN.com. Wow! Go get 'em, folks!
TFNN is excited about our new software charting program, The Art of Timing the Trade Charts. In collaboration with Tom O'Brien and using his best-selling book, The Art of Timing the Trade, Your Ultimate Trading Mastery System, David White has programmed an outstanding piece of software that will complement any trader's methodology. Using this first-of-its-kind program, The Art of Timing the Trade Charts allows you to scan thousands of stocks for Fibonacci formation setups, including Gartley's, ABC's, butterflies, and much more. The Art of Timing the Trade Charts is designed to help you when scouring the markets for stocks just beginning to form the trading patterns that many investors spend days, weeks, or even months searching to find. And right now, we're offering licenses available at only $79 a month. We are so confident that you're going to love this new charting software that will even give you a 30-day unconditional money-back guarantee. Don't miss out on this incredible new piece of software. Get your copy of The Art of Timing the Trade Charts today by visiting TFNN.com.
This segment is brought to you by Think or Swim. For more information, just click the Think or Swim banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
And a lot. We got a couple of questions coming in. First one is Apple. If you missed it, Tom O'Brien was talking about the sales for Mr. Buffett. He sold 3 million shares of Apple over the last quarter. I suspect he'll continue to sell on any opportunity that he has. He was able to buy IBM at the high. He was also able to buy Apple at the highs. He always said that he would never buy any technology companies. He also said that options were crap and now has the biggest options house in all of the United States. He also, what else did he say? About 100 other things. I remember the first time, it was early on in the late 90s that I was starting to really pay attention to what people said on TV about trading. A very bad move. But I always remember him one day, like maybe a week before, telling everybody how much he loved Coca-Cola. It was the biggest, it was the best corporation in the world. And then I saw a headline like 7 or 10 days later that he dumped like half the shares. And I always knew that, yeah, you just can't listen to the big men of Wall Street like that. They're always saying one thing and doing the absolute opposite most of the time. And most of the time, I like to do the opposite of what they're telling us, not what they're actually doing. Anyway, Apple, we got a lot. I mean, I'm just surprised the thing hasn't gone down. Other than the fact today is options expiration. And as we talked about on Wednesday, Apple looked like it wanted to expire at about 170 and Microsoft at about 107.50. I haven't looked at Microsoft today. Let's take a quick look at that. But pinning the tail on the donkey for that is fairly standard practice on Microsoft. What 107.90 or something, 107.80. Look and see how close this gets to 107.50 for that strike price, because I suspect that's it. I haven't looked at them. I'll look at them later. But my guess is that 107.50 crucifies the most amount of option holders that they can without moving it up more than 2.5 or down more than $2.5, which is actually kind of a bit. But yeah, they'll pin all the people that have 107.50 options, both puts and calls, and a whole bunch of others. Same thing with Apple. My guess is there's going to be a ton of people sitting on Apple that will get crunched by the 107.50, or excuse me, the 170 expiration. Let's go back to other things now. SMRT. Steinmart. Wow. I wasn't looking for this. I don't like retailers, but I do like this pattern, and that is you get a high volume low, December 27th. You come back, you get into that candle with half the volume. You don't go and retest it, but probably didn't need to. Then you get 7 or 10 days. In this case, we got 20 days. You move yesterday, and that's the sign of something moving. And now you're probably free to run at 135. I want to load the truck up on this being, I'm going to say, I'm not a one for yelling or screaming because it probably counterintuitive. But if I yelled and screamed and said load up the truck, I'd curse your trade, I think. I would just say use standard risk-reward models. Do not go in too deep. You have no better odds on this trade than the next trade or the trade you had before. You may feel better about it, but generally those feelings always, when I'm nervous, I make a lot of money, and it's not always fun. A lot of times you just end up, being worried all the time. When you think you got it made is generally when Mr. Market kicks you between the legs, and no one likes that. So, yeah, I think you're good to 135. If this thing breaks 135, you're good to 180. Always does kind of well when there's a bad Christmas season. And I think when we got the retail numbers yesterday, everybody kind of thought that, and that's why that thing bounced. You're getting a little pullback now. You might get a little more on Tuesday. But generally, if the retail businesses, the big retail businesses are pulling back, that means there's a lot of products for Steinmart and some of the TJ Maxx. Those tend to do real well, and I would look at those too. Maybe I'll get a chance to look at, what is it, T-Max? Is that the symbol for it? T-M-A-X. We'll see how that one's doing. No, that's not. See if I can look it up. TJX. TJX. Take a quick look at this. See what it did yesterday. It's pretty much gone up through. That certainly looks a lot better. But these don't look bad. Or TJX does not look bad, at least on the volume. It got kind of what you wanted from that December 3rd high. So yeah, no backing up the truck. Just a regular trade. Don't get too far ahead of it. But that's me. Anytime I start acting cocky, Mr. Market sets me in my place and lets me get humble. That's why it's it. Again, you can give me a call at 877-927-6648 and email me at path@tfnn.com. Okay, let's go ahead and look at some of these other BXP as we looked at this, also breaking to new highs. Kind of interesting on this one in that a lot of people are thinking that maybe this is where Amazon goes, but if you listen to Amazon, they're saying no, at least today. They're saying that they're just going to spread them out in all the offices that they have. And I got a question in here. I said I would answer it today. What do I think about Amazon's issues in New York City? Well, there's a whole thing where everybody is just ignoring reality on a number of fronts. And of course, we've had a constant year of Mr. Musk, basically telling everybody that he's going to the moon and then he's going to Mars, and no one really holds you accountable for this stuff. And now we got a whole bunch of lunatics, especially in New York, that didn't even know what the deal was that they were railing against. Amazon made a deal in New York that instead of paying $27 billion or around $27 billion in taxes over the next 10 years, they would pay $24 billion in taxes over the next 10 years, including the employees' salaries and the state and local taxes. So basically, you had Mr. Moneybags go to town. Someone figured out that there was like this extra $3 billion that was in the big bag that they were just going to give Jeff Bezos. But again, in politics, it doesn't really matter what the truth is, but it does tell you they got a lot of nutty people that, man, I wouldn't want them to run my business because, man, they just kissed the pot of gold goodbye. Anyway, we'll talk more about Amazon when we come back.
Hi, folks. This is Tom O'Brien. If you'd like to be the bank and get the type of interest they receive instead of the low interest rates they give to clients, then I have an investment you may want to take a look at. I'm offering 4-year secured first mortgages on buildable city lots in St. Petersburg, Florida. The investment can be anywhere from $30,000 to $75,000 per buildable city lot. The interest paid is 7% per year, paid monthly. Depending on the investment, the income per month per lot ranged from $175 for a $30,000 investment to $437.50 for a $75,000 investment. If you are in the CD market, you want to look at this investment. St. Petersburg is located in Pinellas County, which is the densest county in Florida. If you're looking for an investment with your principal intact that pays a good interest rate, this may be for you. The supply is limited, so act now. For more information on these secured first mortgage opportunities, you can call me at 877-518-9190. That's 877-518-9190.
If you haven't checked out the newsletters page of TFNN.com, what are you waiting for? All of the TFNN newsletters are informative, up-to-date, affordable, and a must-have for every trader looking to gain a competitive informational edge in today's markets. TFNN newsletters cover every aspect of the markets to offer you the very latest in market news. Plus, new subscribers get to test drive our newsletters risk-free for 30 days. From all aspects of the markets, including stocks, bonds, metals, commodities, and tech, there's a newsletter to fit your needs exclusively from TFNN. Stay informed each day you trade and get that competitive edge that will help you stay ahead of the game. Visit our newsletters page by going to TFNN.com and click the newsletters button near the top of the page. TFNN.com, educating investors.
Will the S&P 500 continue to climb? For bold trades on U.S. large cap stocks in either direction, trade SPXL, SPUU, or SPXS. Directions Daily S&P 500 Bull and Bear Leveraged ETFs. Direction leveraged ETFs. An investor should carefully consider a fund's investment objective, risks, charges, and expenses before investing. A fund's prospectus and summary prospectus contain this and other information about Direction shares. To obtain a fund's prospectus and summary prospectus, call 866-476-7523 or visit directioninvestments.com. A fund's prospectus and summary prospectus should be read carefully before investing. An investment in the funds is subject to risk, including the possible loss of principal. The funds are designed to be utilized only by sophisticated investors such as traders and active investors. Distributor Foreside Fund Services, LLC.
Don't forget, you can listen to TFNN live on your mobile device 24 hours per day. Go to TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV. That's TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV for the latest market information.
And we're back. What's going on here? Oh, we were talking about Amazon. I don't see how the news flow gets any better for Amazon anywhere in the near future. Chart just looks like this thing's probably going to go sideways for a while. Low in the trading range is 1307. And, you know, every headline is about how they don't pay taxes. Most of these internet companies, especially in Europe, are going to be facing huge either fines or taxes. In fact, there's a new link tax that I wrote about today in the Tech Insider. So just know that the happy times are probably over, and now they're looking at a lot more taxes in the near future, besides just the headlines and, of course, the tabloids at the checkout stands, where we'll see, I'm certainly more than we want to see, of Jeff Bezos in the near future. Interface, we talked about this one hitting a previous high of July 10th, $7.60. It's just been going sideways, as a little higher. Certainly you haven't had any of that volume yet. A lot of these do look like that they could pull back into the trading range come Tuesday. Again, we are closed on Monday. We'll be back Tuesday over most of TFNN.com. What else do we have out here? EQC, Equity Commonwealth. We continue to look at these very light volumes. I wonder whether or not the Amazon deal is really going to have a big effect. I know a lot of people were bidding up apartments and other places in New York, both Manhattan and Long Island. And the question is, how many of those deals, Amazon actually had some deals for some skyscrapers, and I'm assuming they had some way of getting out of them. Almost everybody has it. Maybe it cost them a little money. I don't know. That's the biggest deal. I'm just wondering how many of these people were lined up at the trough only to see the deal demystify. Is that right word? Demineralize? Come apart. The Equity Commonwealth ETF, October 3rd, 3266, 1.12 million shares, up today on 239,000 shares. Does look like we went above it. Does look like we will close below it, which is always a sell signal. We've got a number of them. What else do we have? Edwards Life Sciences, barely getting above the previous highs. Energies, not as bad as some others. But again, 500,000 shares today, above the September 28th high at 175 that had 2 million shares. So as almost always, you get a market where everybody's on the wrong side, everybody's short, going into a long weekend. The shorts, one by one, seem to cover. You get a market that's way up on light volume, and the wave starts cresting in the next few days. At least that's what I'm looking at now as the scenario. Extra Space Storage, another one of these storage rental places, hitting highs on lighter volume. 1.6 million shares, 1.3 million shares, and on February 8th, basically 775,000 shares, and holding back underneath that high. What else do we have? Four Corners Property Trust at 28.54 on the December 7th high, a day that will live in infamy. 800,000 shares going into the 11th of February that had 376,000 shares, and you've pulled back in. Energy up this last leg. Wasn't as bad as some things, but certainly the volume at the highs is very weak. FR. What else do we have here? Keep those cards and letters coming, folks. Got still plenty of time left in the show. First Industrial Realty, another one breaking above its previous high. That's the July 6th high at 33.82 with 2.4 million shares. Today we're busting above that with a rousing 400,000 shares so far. FTEC, another one which is a ETF, Information Technology. 800,000 shares on December 3rd, $55.43. Got to 56.16 today on 177,000 shares. G, got to get that last G in. It's gone above its December 3rd high. You got no juice, but you may get a little higher into that September 19th high. DX, kind of the same thing. GKOS, another one banging around these $70 highs. This is a glaucoma drug. GKOS is the symbol. $70.91 with 11 million shares on August 29th. You hit that with December 4th. Just a couple pennies underneath it with 870,000 shares. Got into it on the 13th with 208,000 shares. Yesterday, 227. Today, 103,000 shares. So not a lot of people chasing this into higher. Generally, those light volume moves up are a sign that the weak hands that are short are getting out. Guidewire Software, I think we talked about this on Wednesday, December 3rd, $95.51. Got to 96.21, reversed out of that on the 13th. You've gone sideways for a couple of days, but down about 1/3 the volume. Intel had a nice little pop. You're kind of bucking the trend, and this is going right up against the gap down, going back to July 27th. Came down on 68 million shares. Yesterday you had 17.5 million shares. Today 13.4 million shares so far. MTB on this one, where we actually look at MTB Bank. 171.01 was the December 3rd high. 1.5 million shares into that today with 351,000 shares. So this isn't like when I was taught early on. You tested volume on less than 10%. That was a big deal. But you know what? I'm going to say 30, 40, 50% really gets me interested. And a lot of these things are telling us these things and the market have hit some kind of significant high unless we get some kind of incredible news over the weekend, which I don't think we will. I suspect that this trade deal drags on for months, if not years. Next era energy, December 7th, 184.20, 2.8 million shares. That goes back to December 7th, a day that will live in infamy. And you've got today up on about 1 million shares so far. So doing about 1/3 of the volume with an hour and 10 minutes left to go. RFJ, which is Raymond James Financial, has gone back to its gap down from October 23rd. You tested on October 8th with 1.8 million shares. A couple of days ago, you had 800,000 shares. Today, kind of holding up with 535,000 shares. So again, not a rousing endorsement of these highs. We've got a few more to look at before the end of the day. If you're going to the Daytona 500 on Sunday, look for me in the infield.
I'm certain you are or strive to be one of the best at everything you do in life. It's the most common trait that we tigers and tigresses share. If you're looking to become the best of the best when it comes to managing your money, let me teach you to do what most wealth managers tell you can't be done, which is how to time the markets. I'm Steve Rhodes, author of Mastering Probability, and for the last 12 months, Timer Digest has been tracking my newsletter signals, which have earned me the ranking as their #1 market timer in the nation for the S&P 500 for the last 12, 6, and 3 months. Timer Digest also ranks me as the #1 market timer for gold as well. The fact is, markets can be timed, and I'll teach you the exact set of tools that I use that has transformed me into one of the best at what I do. Sign up for Mastering Probability today by clicking on the newsletter tab on the homepage of TFNN.com and get immediate access to workshops where I take you step by step how to use an extraordinary set of tools as well as provide great market calls too. Sign up today.
David White's newsletter, The Technology Insider, is focused like a laser on finding the next big things in technology. If you had invested only $10,000 in Microsoft in 1986, you'd have been a millionaire by 2000. Disruptive technology like Microsoft's is the key to these massive long-term profits, and the Tech Insider is the vehicle from TFNN to capitalize on these opportunities. This is the go-to newsletter that identifies, monitors, and profits on mostly little-known cutting-edge companies with great long-term prospects. David's experience is as an inventor of Emmy-winning animation products for TV and Hollywood that propelled a company public. Match that with 14 years as a full-time trader, and he's uniquely qualified to guide you through the light-speed world of ever-evolving high-tech. If you're ready to ride the next big technology bull market for less than $40 per month, log on to TFNN.com and get your 2-week free trial to the Technology Insider. Get in on the ground floor of the next big thing today. Since 1984, Basil Chapman has been using the Chapman Wave methodology to advise traders of his expert market opinion. While originally hand-drawing charts from the late 1970s into the 1980s, Basil noticed that prices under most circumstances virtually always had a certain number of legs to the upside before declining sharply. Later, Basil found that computer software, which included the standard market technical indicators, enhanced the degree of accuracy in calling price turns, as well as market trend calls. Thus was born the Chapman Wave sequence. Using the Chapman Wave methodology along with other indicators, Basil Chapman advises his subscribers of his expert market opinion each market day with his opening call newsletter. Right now, you can get a 2-week free trial to the opening call, Basil's daily trading newsletter, by visiting the front page of TFNN.com. Cancel at any time during that trial and pay absolutely nothing. Get your 2-week free trial to Basil's newsletter, The Opening Call, today by visiting TFNN.com.
Catch Tom O'Brien, professional trader and educator, founder of TFNN. Also, a special guest on CNBC. Tom will bisect and dissect the markets. The Tom O'Brien Show, next on TFNN.
And we'll look at a few more. Real Page RP going into the 58.47 high November 2nd, 155 or 1.55 million shares. Got a little doji out here today into that high at 209,931 as we speak. And again, most of these things have fairly light energy up off this December 24th low. And these are the patterns I live for, both up and down. They tell you a great deal. Stitch Fix, a recent IPO, gap down on the 11th of December with 26 million shares. Yesterday, 715,000 shares. Today, 1.2 million shares. But again, man, infinitesimally light in comparison to what they've got smacked down on. They're coming up. They're filling their gaps. Generally, this is where you find some rather large ABCs on the way down. This one probably not as big, and I don't short stocks below 30 bucks. But there's just so many of these out here that I think this is the social proof you may need to think that at least this market is probably a little overpriced. S&P shares, low volatility portfolio, SPLV. 5 million shares on December 4th, $50.61. Now we're up at 1.4 million shares, 1.5 million shares on this one. Looks like we're going to hold around maybe $51 on it, but certainly no energy off those lows. Again, up a couple of days over the highs and then a close back below them generally seals the deal. What else do we have? Visa. I think, nope, we don't have time for it, but another one out here on very light volume at the highs. Should be hearing the music. Be with Tom today at 3:30. We've got lots of stuff to talk about in technology. I have a good day on that. In the meantime, sell when you can, not when you have to. We'll see you here Tuesday. Same bat channel, same bat time.
Larry Pesavento has just started his brand new service, Fibonacci 24/7, and he's already delivering content to his subscribers on a daily basis when the market's opened and even on weekends. Each Monday, you'll receive Larry's written report that provides detailed commentary and a summary on the charts and videos that Larry sends out. And throughout the week, when warranted, Larry will send out via charts or videos or both the key markets that he is watching during the day. This will be up-to-the-date, active trading information that will help you in your daily trading. In Larry's first week alone, he sent out 25 charts, 6 videos, and a full report to his subscribers in just 1 week. If you're a technical trader that uses patterns and retracements to trade, then Larry's service Fibonacci 24/7 is something that you must try. Right now, new subscribers can get a full 30-day money-back guarantee. With nothing to risk, sign up now to Larry Pesavento's Fibonacci 24/7 by visiting the front page of TFNN.com under Trading Newsletters.